Hey guys, I'm Jeremy, and I figured I'd tell you about a cool tubing trip I did here in Denver a couple weeks ago. There's quite a few places you could go tubing or rafting in general in Colorado. This one's one of the closest ones. It's down in Littleton, just south of Denver, about 30 minutes, near the 470, just north of Chatfield Reservoir. You can go and drive into Black Rock Lake, which on a weekend it's going to be pretty busy, so you might have to park a little ways away and walk down the road. The weekdays probably won't be too bad. So you could start there, and then there's two ways to go about doing it. Of course, you're starting in one location and ending in a different area. The other area you're going to end is going to be next to the Breckenridge brewery at Reynolds Landing. And so you could leave one car there if you have a friend and then drive down. And then there's a company there that also does shuttle rides, so you could pay them like $20 or $30 and they could drop you off at the bottom, give you an inner tube, and then you could float all the way back. I think that company's Adventure West River Tube Rentals. The day I did it, it was pretty chill. You know, the only complaint I had was that it was a little bit slow. You get into, 3 or 4 areas where it speeds up a little bit and there's some small rapids or a little bit of like a dip down, a little slide or whatever, but it's pretty chill, a little slow. I think it generally takes 3 to 4 hours. I think I did it in less than 3, but I was like paddling with my hands quite a bit. So if you're just totally not paddling and the water's pretty slow, I think it would take about 3 or a little over 3 hours. There's quite a lot of people, as I mentioned, on the weekend, so if you're gonna go on a weekend, you gotta expect, there's gonna be a few other, couple hundred people probably out at the same time. Not that it bothered me or anything. It's kind of cool to, float by and talk to people. And then if you want something a little bit more adventurous or a little bit more scenic, there's a few other areas you could go tubing outside of Denver. You could go up to Boulder, and there's an area. You could go up to Fort Collins, and there's an area there. Out near Deckers is a little bit more in the mountains, and that would be pretty nice. I might check that one out next. And then going through Golden, northwest of Denver, you've got another spot. So there's about 5 spots around. You could look and see if there's some outfitters that could drop people off, or you could just go and carpool with a friend and drop one car off, pop in the water for a couple hours or 3 hours, and it could definitely be a cool way to spend an afternoon and relax. The water wasn't too bad. It was, a little cool, but not that bad. I think if you're closer in the mountains, like in early summer, it's going to be really cold out there when all of the snow's melting. So I know a lot of people come out here rafting and stuff, and they're shocked how cold the water is. But I mean, it's snow water that's just melting, especially early summer. So you should expect that if you're going to do any rafting or tubing trips out in Colorado. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you, and get out there and beat the summer heat in Denver. It could get up to 95, 100 degrees. At least it's dry heat, so it's not as bad as many places in America, but it could be a great way to cool off. Just remember to have sun lotion, because obviously it's super bright out here, generally speaking. And, I didn't have a lot, like on my feet, for instance, and the top of my feet were just charred. So you're definitely going to want some sun lotion. Obviously, if you can't swim, you're going to want a life jacket. The water in general isn't very deep. A lot of the time you get stuck on rocks and stuff for small areas because it's only about a foot deep. So generally speaking, you don't have to worry about deep water. It's pretty shallow. But maybe with some of the other tubing areas near Deckers or out in the mountains, obviously it's probably a little bit more dangerous. So be safe out there and have a good time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Most of my channel's on hiking in Colorado and other places in the world, and bike trips and my other experiences, teaching English in China and doing tours and fishing in Alaska and all kinds of other stuff. So hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.